Hello, hello, hello. What's good, everybody? It's Saturday, so we're going to get back into the Bad Batch. Going to get into episode 13. Got to apologize for the delay. Had a little bit of a minor heart attack over here. Thought I just lost the outline. I just spent an hour and a half writing, and I could not find it. Had a little bit of a minor heart attack over here. Thought I just lost the outline. I just spent. That is a first. I have not done that in a minute. Oh, it has been a minute. What's up, everybody? It is a Saturday. Oh, man, from what I've been seeing, it seems like a lot of people are just not the biggest fan of this last episode. It is a sad. Why? Does that want to keep doing that? How do you mute? It has been a while. That is so funny. It is not wanting to. There we go. Boom. Oh, man, it's been a minute. Oh, what's up, AK? She said, I did the same thing on my stream earlier. I'm telling you, it has been a minute, and especially when I was so flustered I couldn't find that thing, I was like, you got to be kidding me. Just spent an hour and a half writing this thing, and I can't find it. Like, what? But we are back, and I am pumped. Love this episode. I don't know if I loved it, but I didn't hate it like it seems everybody else in the fan, man. It seems like the fandom is just beside themselves on this episode. Like, they are just not feeling this one. And I don't know what it is, but I did not think it was that bad. I liked it. It was a little side mission. It didn't totally advance the story in a major way. But, man, we just got 2 huge episodes with the whole Hera thing. So, yeah, it was nuts. Uh-oh, hard drive crash. Oh, no, I just rebooted everything. And usually I just have everything pop right back up. But for some reason, I hit the button that said don't open up all the windows. And I never actually saved it. So when I went back and it didn't open, and then I tried to open up I tried to open Pages and it wasn't there. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So yeah, it took a minute, and then finally I went back and was able to find it I was on my downloads, and I went into documents. Yeah, it was there. Like I said, the most untechnical DJ on the planet. I'm just not a tech guy. I know how to turn it on, but the second it doesn't work, I'm like, somebody come fix it. But yeah, we back up and running. I found it, and we are all good and ready to go. And we got our, this is the Bad Batch episode 13 called Infested, and our crew are back from another successful mission, and it was kind of funny hearing them hemming and hawing about Sid leaving them out all the crucial details. And Echo's like, this is not the first time she's left out some crucial detail, or Tech, I think it was, who said this isn't the first time. And Echo's like, man, we better get paid extra. And Wrecker, of course, is like, oh, it wasn't that bad. And it's like, it's just kind of like a normal human thing. People be bitching about their job, but, glad to have a job in the long run. So I just kind of like that little callback of keeping it real. I thought it was tight. What's up, Celebrity Bikini? I see you out there. Oh, man, you guys get a chance to get this one in. Have you seen it already? But there seems to be a new presence on Old Mantell, and it seems like Sid's place is all of a sudden popping. And it was pretty sweet when the boys remind us like just how badass they really are when that guard like stepped in front of them, and they just straight mountain that sucker up against the wall. It was amazing. I was like, oh yeah, this is the Bad Batch. Do not get in their way. Which again is kind of weird. Like, we need to talk about why is everybody so afraid of certain people. I don't understand like where they're getting all this respect from. If you should be afraid of anybody, you should be afraid of the Bad Batch Force 99 because they don't play. But yeah, that was pretty dude when they mounted that guard against the wall and just walked in. That was pretty sweet. And they enter Sid's office just to find out that it's not Sid's anymore. It's been taken over by one of her other clients, Roland Durand. He's the owner of Ruby, that prized little space lizard that got so closely acquainted with our boy Wrecker's face a few episodes back. I do love all the tie-ins and how they keep it coming back. It's pretty sweet. Oh, yeah. Watching it as we speak. 5 more minutes. Oh, you're almost into it. Yeah. The last 3 minutes are just credits. I'm not, but I've been watching reviews, so I could have some info definitely on my watch. Yeah, it's a good one. It's like I said, man, it seems like the fandom just hated this episode, but I didn't think it was that bad. I did not mind it at all. Nice little, reprieve from the last one, and then we're going to be jumping right back into it next week. Like, I think we've got some huge cameos from Rebels and Clone Force that are going to be making in the next few episodes. But Roland informs them that it's not only like he hasn't only taken over Sid's place, he's basically taken over all of Ord Mantell. Like he's basically calling this planet his now. And Roland offers them work, and Hunter's like, yeah, we'll think about it. But as soon as he's out of earshot, he's telling the crew, like, we're out of here. And a lot of us are wondering, like, why aren't they out of there already anyway? I mean, Omega's already paid off old girl. Is it just that they have no place to go and really nothing else to do? So they're basically just doing missions to keep themselves busy at this point? I mean, that's kind of what it seems like. But yeah, he's like, we're out of here. Finally, we're going to bounce. And Hunter tells Tech to ready the ship while the rest of them gather the supplies. But then Omega's like, hold up. What about Sid? It's like, we have to help her. And I'm like, why is Omega so hell-bent on helping everybody? It's like, why does she want to be everybody's guardian angel? Like, I get she's a kid, and, you know, kids always kind of want to do the right thing. But so doesn't that mean the adults need to step up and, like, you know, draw some boundaries? It's getting a little bit much, man. Like I said, you cannot save the whole universe. It's just ridiculous. I'm like, come on already. But Sid overhears this and says, well, at least the kid cares about me. And she's like, inside now. And this lizard's got a lot of nerve being so pushy at this point. Like, it's like, you're lucky that these boys are even thinking about helping you. It's like the fact that she's still bossing them around, like, I don't know, it's ridiculous. And speaking of nerve, like, I'm getting a little tired of Omega's like her naivety of everything. It's like, dude, you can't be so naive and just think that you're going to save everybody on the planet. Like, no, it's not a soldier's job to just run on every suicide mission there is just to save every Tom, Dick, and Harry out in the universe. You know, some people got to do for themselves. But yeah, I don't know. They just need to teach Omega some boundaries because she's starting to get out of control. And Omega says, when we needed help, we came to Sid. I'm like, yeah, they went to her and have basically been getting blackmailed ever since. So, like, how are they trying to act or make it seem like, oh, she helped us, we need to help? No, she didn't help them. She's been absolutely blackmailing them from Jump Street and put them on that crazy mission to go save Jabba. They, right out of the gate, came out saving Sid's ass. They don't owe her anything. So, yeah, this whole thing's kind of backwards right now. I'm just like, what? But yeah, Omega shows she still just has a lot of growing up to do and maturing to do because she needs to learn the galaxy is not a fairy tale out of some children's book. Like, there's real deal things happening out there, and this crew cannot save the galaxy. But Sid threatens the crew, reminding them how good she's been at keeping secrets. And I'm like, at this point, why don't they just bounce and put Sid in the rear view? Like, even if she does tell, like, she's not going to know where they went. Like, that's kind of ridiculous that they're holding on to this whole thing. Like, she's holding anything over. She ain't holding shit over them. Omega's paid their debts, and these guys can bounce and be gone in whatever galaxy or solar system they want. I don't understand why there's, like, sweating Sid. Like, okay, go tell. Who are you going to tell? They'll probably just shoot you for not telling them earlier. So go ahead. What are you going to do? Like, they need to call that bluff sometime soon, I think. It's getting a little ridiculous. Yep, they got that hero complex. It's going to end up getting them killed. They need to watch it. It's like, no, man, hero complex or not. Is she useful in some other way? Oh, Omega's amazing, and she saved their butts a few times too. And Sid, I mean, basically Sid's like paying him. She's like their employer at this point. She's keeping money in their pockets, but she's not, I wouldn't say useful, and I think they could figure it out and do better on their own at this point. So if they ever needed information or whatever, maybe go back to Sid, but sitting there doing her side missions for her, they're the only reason keeping her going. And that's another thing, man. I thought Sid like had it on lock. I thought she had this secret stash of millions of credits and a way out and probably her own pimped out shit. But no, man, she's holding on to that parlor like it's the only thing she's got in life. So she's lucky that she has the Bad Batch, or she'd already be done because she had already taken that job for Jabba. That's how they met in the first episode. And she takes that job for Jabba the Hutt. She had no way of doing it. What was she even thinking? She obviously just needed money, took the money, and she's like, well, I'll deal with that when it comes. And luckily, the Bad Batch came along and got the job done for her. So, yeah, it's ridiculous. What's up, Dragon? I see you out there. Good to see you, JD. Good to see you, my brother. So Hunter once again sighs and asks, what's the plan? And when is this guy just going to grow a backbone and learn when to say no? Because he is just getting ridiculous. But like I said, I think they're just bored and have nothing better to do, so it kind of keeps them occupied at this point. And I love how Tech like always lays it out in the layman's terms, like so anybody not keeping up has it spelled out for them. Like, very good, Goggles. You gotta love it. And so we see Sid did have an escape route out of the back of her office, like I thought, but It doesn't have the large bag of money that I thought it would. I thought she'd just have a huge stash of units back there, so if she ever needed to bounce, she had her bounce bag ready to go. But apparently not. Apparently this parlor is all she has in the universe, which is weird. With all those trophies and things she has in her office, it just makes it seem like she's a little bit bigger deal than she is, but I guess not. Maybe she just swindled them all. But yeah, I don't know. I thought she'd have been a bigger baller than she is, and she doesn't. Because if she had a stockpile of cash, and that's why I was thinking later, like if she really did have all this money and have this big stockpile of cash, she would have never taken that job for Jabba the Hutt that she had no way of being able to do. So yeah, I should have figured that out in the first place. So the Bad Batch has been saving her ass, not the other way around this entire time. So she should be a little more grateful, I think. Oh man, pretty tight. Vacation was great. Nice. Good to hear vacation. Always love it. Everybody needs a vacation. So when they first saw the carts in the mine, like Tex says they're in poor shape, but he can get them back up and running again. And Sid's like, no motors. They're too loud. But then later we see like when it goes down, they're able to fire the motors right up and bounce. So I was like, there's a huge plot hole they kind of left in this one. That one kind of left me scratching my head. It seems like a lot of people weren't really feeling it, but like I said, I like this little side mission. Like, crew's got to eat. The gang's messing with our boys' money. Like, we get to see them kind of flex up a little bit. Like, I don't know. I liked it. But yeah, it cracks me up like how big a deal they're making of this Mantel mix. It's almost like that snack is becoming like its own little lovable character in this show. Like now it's being used as a pet napping device. Like this stuff's so tasty, it's loved by all creatures and species. Like Ruby can't even resist it. I think that's kind of funny how they keep flexing back on the Mantel mix. But the ploy to steal the spice from Olin works, and I don't know how inept are Norm and Cliff out there that they have Ruby in a cage. They've basically gotten away and still find a way to muck things up. I was like, these guys are just ridiculous. What a joke. And these are like Sid's number 1 and number 2 peeps. That's just not a good crew. But it seems like it was just enough time for our boys to get the job done, and somehow Roland figures out what's happened just in time to follow the crew through the tunnels, and Wrecker's like, we have incoming, and then fires on him. And then Sid reminds him, I said no blaster. And Wrecker's like, well, tell that to them. I'm like, you just shot them. You were such an overgrown child. Like, we just saw you shoot first. What are you talking about? Tell that to them. I thought that was kind of funny. I don't know if they wrote that on purpose or if it just came out that way, but that was funny to me. So the battle ensues, and Hunter thinks like fast and dispatches like one of them off their tail. But unfortunately, this ended up waking up the hive, and Sid says, power up the engines. I was like, wait a minute. Didn't Tech already make mention that the engines don't work? He would have to fix them. He would be able to, but I mean, that would take a little bit of time. And they're like, nope, just fire them right up. So again, just a little bit of a plot hole there. But the hive's been woke and all hell breaks loose. And it seems like they even attacked the spice, which is weird. They didn't come after the people. They just went after the drugs. I don't know. I guess these are some junkie bugs or something. But one case seemed to it looked like one of those cases exploded on contact, yet later they were able to retrieve all 6 cases intact. So again, was this just a huge plot hole? Like that one kind of threw me for a minute. But our crew made it through, and Omega says, well, at least we got rid of the spice, and Sid just looked tragic. Like she looked sick to her stomach. I was like, was Sid planning on having a little spice party after this to celebrate the heist? Sid got a little nose for that spice. It seems like it because she looked sick. She looked like a junkie with her mouth watering over like a huge pile of spice, and then somebody turned a fan on and blew it all away. She just looked sick to her stomach when they lost it all. But it was probably just all the money she knew she could have sold that for, I'm guessing. But yes, the spices must flow. You better believe it. Absolutely got to keep it going. But Roland tracked down Norman Cliff, of course, Boba and Ketch, and they give up everything they know instantly. Like, they're not exactly the A team. I mean, they're not even the B or C teams. These two are just worthless. I mean, we got to remember, the way we saw him was freaking in jail, and old girl had to free him from there. So, yeah, these guys are obviously not the best. But the Pikes show up looking for their shipment, and they're not trying to hear any excuses. And they tell Roland to figure it out, or he and his whole family will be dealt with. I'm like, he and his whole family is a bunch of gangsters. Like, why is everybody so afraid of the Pikes? Like, we already know Roland's mom's the real deal, and they're a whole, like, gang and mafia family of themselves. So why is everybody sweating these pikes so hard? I never really understood that. It's like, who the hell are these pikes? And like, I know they kind of deal with Maul, but it just seems like there may be another reason people fear him so much. There has to be another reason. Like, they just talk about mess with us and you and your whole family will be dealt with. It's like, well, if we deal with you right now, who's going to say nothing? There ain't going to be nobody to go tell to go deal with my family. So I didn't get that. They had guns on them and they were just like, they weren't sweating nothing. So like, are they telepathic? Can they just instantly telepath like something out to their other people? Like, hey, we're dealing with this. So if anything happens, make sure the family. I mean, that's the only reason I can see. Why would everybody be so afraid of the Pikes? And the head Pike tells Roland like he's out of his depth while Roland has his gun aimed at him. I'm like, what? How are these Pikes so fearless? Like, this man's got a taser aimed at your face and you're telling him he's out of his depth. I was like, how do they have it like that? I need to know. So Norman Cliff tells Sid it's safe to come back, but the Pikes and Roland were still there. I'm like, why did they tell her the coast was clear if it wasn't? Like, was that just another setup from the Pikes? I didn't get that. Like, she's like, oh, they said the coast is clear, and they go back, and it wasn't. They were actually just getting ready to leave. If they would have waited another 5 minutes, the coast would have been clear. So I didn't see what was up with all that. Oh, man. Yeah, that's spice is valuable regardless, one way or another, man. That stuff is real priceless. There's always someone tougher or crazier. I guess so, man. But like I said, you got a taser aimed right between this man's eyes, and he's going to flex up and tell you you're out of your depth. I mean, that would be an uncomfortable feeling, but still, I'd be like, I don't know. I think you got it twisted, homie. I'm not the one that's about to perish. But Sid tries to lie and says she doesn't have the spice, and the head Pike says, kill them all. And I'm like, first off, why wouldn't the Bad Batch just kill the Pike? Like, I know they could outdraw them and kill these guys. So, like, this head Pike's like, kill them all. I didn't see why the Bad Batch just didn't pull out their tasers right then and just end it. And second of all, why would the Pike automatically even take Roland's word for this? Like, that Sid stole it. I mean, he's going to say anything to get out of his current predicament. So why would they even... It's like they don't care if he's lying or not, just kill everybody. Like, I get that they're supposed to be ruthless, but it seems like they're not stupid. But Hunter's not able to stay quiet. He says, we know where it is. And like I said, why not just draw out your own guns and tell the Pike to piss off at this point? I did not understand that. How did the Pike have it like that? He said, quick way to get brain damage. Yep, keep talking smack with somebody who's got a freaking taser aimed between your eyes. See what's what. But finally, our crew's heard enough, and they do draw their guns, and basically just to have Sid say, like, you don't know who you're dealing with. It's like the Pikes are just so sure of themselves. Like, they never even drew a gun. It's like, I don't understand. Why not just blow these fools away and bounce? Like, I just don't get it. But Sid says if they don't lower their blasters, they're all going to wish we were dead. And again, why? Like, I put my money on the Bad Batch any day in this situation. But Sid tries to do the right thing by saying that she got the kid into this mess and she'll get her out. And is Sid a villain with a conscience, or is she just like a good guy beneath it all? Like, not many bad guys would risk their life for another like that. Like, she was instantly like, this is my fault. I got her into it. I'll be willing to get her out of it. Is she a villain with a conscience, or is she deep down like undercover a good guy? What's up with Sid? What's the true meaning of Sid? But Omega eyes a blaster, but Roland's like, don't even think about it. They'll kill you. And at this point, like, I need to see something from these Pikes. Like, why is everybody so scared of them? They need to show me something. And it was cute to see Ruby, like, go to Omega's lap before Roland's. Like, that kind of impressed him. He says Ruby doesn't take a liking to many people. So it was also kind of telling that even in his current situation, all he's worried about is what his mom would think. And, like, oh, if she could only see me now. Like, that just kind of tells, like, you don't want to mess with Mama. So, I mean, are the Pikes really that much better than Mama's gang? Like, I want to see this in the next couple episodes. I think that'd be pretty tight. And I think it may come to a head like that. We may get to see it. But the boys get the crates, 3 and 4 on board, and Echo makes note that it's almost night, so now he doesn't know something's about to happen, and of course it does. Sid tells Wrecker to quit squirming, but it was actually Sid that knocked that old crate off the tracks and down into the hive, so Wrecker's like, well, maybe they didn't hear us, and Sid's like, I don't think we're that lucky. And it was kind of funny kind of hearing Wrecker like scream like a little girl when those bugs started swarming. Like, remember when earlier he's all, oh, we're not afraid of a few bugs. Like, I guess you are afraid of a few bugs, because he was screaming over the comms. It was funny. But luckily, our man Tech's always 2 steps ahead, and he basically devises a light bomb that's going to keep these nocturnal creatures at bay, and he drops it into the swarm, and it seems to have worked. So they get the crates back. They get the crates back to the Pikes, and again, like I'm not sure, like how they got all 6 of these crates back when I swear I saw one of them bust over the rocks earlier. So now how are all 6 of them intact? That just doesn't even make sense. Or is one of them messed up and they're just lucky they didn't look in that one and they're still pulling the wool? I don't think so. I think that's a plot hole. That was a little off to me. But basically, they're happy and they get all the crates back and their Pikes are happy and say that the business with the batch is resolved. However, there's still Roland to deal with, and they place his head on a case, but Omega yells out, "No, we only made a mistake." And even Sid chimed in, like telling him, like, just call this a bad deal and walk away. Like, why would Sid care? This guy just took over her whole spot. Again, is this just her conscience because she knows she's kind of responsible for this? But he's responsible for trying to steal her spot in the first place. Like, he caused all this by taking over her parlor, so that was kind of weird that they were kind of jumping in trying to save this guy's life. I didn't really understand that. But the Pikes are like, they don't accept bad deals and drop the knife. And to everybody's relief, they only chop off part of his horn and not his whole head. And Omega's like, "Are you okay?" And Roland replies, "It's a small price to pay." Then he says he'll be going now. But I just have a feeling this isn't the last we're going to be seeing of old Roland Duran. Like, is he basically going to grab reinforcements and come back with a vengeance? Or is he going to tell Mama what happened and she's going to come back with a vengeance, which would really be not good. But I don't know. This is definitely going to be a mafia war coming up one way or the other. I just don't know what the sides are going to be and who's going to be battling. But I am excited to see it. You better believe it. So Sid said, come on, first round's on her. And Wrecker's like, "You owe us way more than that." And I'm like, Sid has the nerve to say, "Don't push your luck." Like, isn't it time for the Bad Batch to just move on at this point? Like, Sid's missions pay for shit. Like, they're getting more dangerous by the day. Like, isn't it just time to say hasta la vista and bounce on this lizard? I think they got to get out of here because Sid's going to get him killed. And obviously, she's not as tight, or she doesn't have it like I thought she did. I thought she was way more secured up and had it more in lockdown, but obviously she does not. Like, without the Bad Batch, without the Bad Batch, she'd have been dead way back in episode 1 because, oh boy, Jabba the Hutt's people would have taken her out for failing on the mission, not getting the what's his face back. So yeah, Sid is just lucky to have him, and she's just playing a long game. But when's the Bad Batch going to figure it out and just be out? So Omega's last line was basically the worst part of the episode for me. When Hunter asked, like, why she stuck up for Roland, and after what he did, why did you stick up for him? And Omega replies, "I don't know. The space lizard likes him, so maybe he's not all that bad." I'm like, what? Ruby likes him, so maybe he's not all that bad? That's why we just went through all this? I was like, after that line, I was like, there is just no more listening to Omega. We're done with that. It's time for the grown-ups to take over. It was ridiculous. Oh, then what will be the plot of each episode? Oh, man, getting into it and taking over and seeing what battling the Empire. Basically all these planets that are under attack and trying to get stuff going, joining up with the rebellion and trying to win, get the good guys back on track, get those kind of episodes. But like I said, I didn't hate this episode. There's definitely just a few plot holes and ridiculous parts in it. But, man, it seems like the fandom this seems to be everybody's worst episode. Couldn't stand it, hated it. I didn't think it was that bad. I enjoyed the ride. I liked it. Like I said, our crew's got to eat. They still got to make money, and this is just kind of showing some of the other stuff that they deal with in their everyday life. And I liked it right out of the gate when they came back talking, like, bitching about their mission. Like, "Oh, I can't believe she didn't tell us about that. And this isn't the first time she's left out crucial information. And, yeah, she better pay us more. And, oh, it wasn't that bad." And, like, that's just, like, basically a crew of guys getting off their shift from work and basically just bitching about work on the way to the bar. I mean, I just liked the little tie-in. Made it more human and realistic. I loved it. You said that's season 2. It could be. I still don't know if season 2's been greenlit or not, but if I'm a gambling man, you know that, and I would definitely bet that there is 100% going to be a season 2. I think they're going to keep it running. They're going to get all these Star Wars programs up and running. They got the Book of Boba Fett. They got Obi-Wan coming. It's going to be amazing. We got Ahsoka. We got Mandarin 3 coming. Like, it's going to be dope. It's going to be dope. So, yeah, that's going to do it for me. Like I said, I like this one a lot more than it seemed other people did. And, yeah, can't wait to see the other one. I think we're going to be right on track and be into a major episode next one. Yeah, it's going to be a big battle, and I think it's going to go deep. I think it's going to go hard the next few episodes right up to the end. So can't wait to see it. We'll be back talking about it soon, and hope you guys are having an absolutely amazing weekend, and it only gets better from here. Until we see you next time. Be easy, everybody.